Hello, y'all. Happiest Friday to you. If you are catching the replay, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you let me know that you're watching the replay or write in the comments. All right, y'all. I am Siobhan, your community cultivator, and I believe that every single woman deserves to be free and fulfilled in her life. And I teach women how to go from feeling stuck in their life to being free. And so if you ever want to learn more about me and the work that I do, you can always head over to BeFreeProject.com. I have a community, an amazing community, where I get to be the biggest cheerleader and women all over the world in their lives to really support them in doing the personal growth work and finding their forever friends. And it's the Be Free Inner Circle. And I absolutely adore the work that I get to do every single day to impact the lives of women. So again, if you want to know more about me and all the things, make sure you head over to my website at BeFreeProject.com. Also, I have an amazing podcast called the Be Free Project Podcast that you can learn more about. You can find all the things on my website. And so today, I'm excited about this topic. So let me tell y'all before I even get into it. Number one, make sure you have your notebooks out, because I tell y'all every single week when I go live at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I want y'all to have your notebooks out ready to take notes. I do not want you to come on here for an emotional high. I am here to teach you, to inspire you, to encourage you, and I want you to take something away that you're going to apply to your life as a result of tuning in today. Another thing that I want to note is that as you're watching, I love engagement. I love interaction. We are a community. So this is not just about me showing up. This is about all of us. So I would love for you to double tap the screen and give hearts and all that jazz. I would love for you to engage with one another in the comment section. You can ask me questions. I'll make sure that I answer all the questions that come up towards the end when we do our Q&A. But the engagement builds community. So you guys engage with one another, engage with me. I love it. It helps all the things. Last thing, if you want to I know you want to invite your friends to come on and watch today's live. So hit that little arrow in the bottom screen and share this in your stories and invite your friends to come on over and watch. All right, so let's get into it. The reason that I want to talk about this today, 3 reasons that you may feel stuck in your life and what you can do about it. I put out a survey. So if you are on my newsletter list, or if you're following me here on Instagram, or you're in the Be Free Inner Circle, I put out a survey and I wanted to know what was your number one problem that you're struggling with in your life right now, right? That was the main question. And then there were 4 different options that you could choose from. I need a cheerleader to believe in me. I need to find my forever friends or connect with my forever friends. I need accountability with hitting my goals, or I need clarity around why I feel stuck. Those are the 4 options. That was it. It was a 1-question survey, right? And so as I'm getting all the data back from the survey, a huge percentage, and so many, over 100 and something women have already, completed the survey. And as I'm looking at the data, more than half of everyone that took the survey thus far, because people are still responding, said that they need clarity around why they feel stuck in their life. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now, not that was surprising to me, because my work is all about being free, and I believe that every woman deserves to be free and fulfilled in her life. But I also know that there's a huge portion of women in my community, wherever you're connected with me, that you do feel stuck in some area of your life. And so if you've been following me for some time, I've shared with you that I was stuck in my life for a very, very, very long time, right? But I'm going to assume that you haven't heard and you're just catching me for the first time. But back, I would say 7 or 8 years ago, when I was working in corporate America, I felt very stuck in my life. I did not know what I wanted. I didn't, at that time, I wasn't really clear about what my purpose was. I was working 8 to 9, maybe 10 hours a day, depending on, the flow or what have you. I would work on the weekends, and I dreaded going to work every day. I went to work because I needed the money to pay bills, obviously, but did I enjoy what I was doing? Absolutely not. And I remember feeling so stuck, and I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? And even though I had the bachelor's degree, the master's degree, I'm like, there is something more that I'm longing for. There's something that I desire. However, I feel very stuck, and I do not know what to do to get out of it. And it took me going to therapy, number one, to kind of work through a lot of stuff or whatever. But I had to get very specific as to, okay, well, why do you feel stuck? And what is it that you want for your life? And those may seem like small questions, but those are huge. Like, why do I feel stuck? So I really had to do the inner work and ask myself, well, what is it? Like, what is happening? And one of the things that came up for me, I'm like, okay, I know that there's more to my life than being a wife and then being a mother and then being an employee. Like, there has to be more to this, right? And I was like, okay, well, what is that more? And I'm like, I don't know. And so I was doing a lot of journaling and like unpacking and all this jazz. And then also I'm like, well, Siobhan, what is it that you want? And the more that I was being honest with myself about what it is that I really wanted, the more clear I got. Now, this was not an overnight process. And I would say even now, there's still some things that I'm like, oh, this is who you are. This is who you're becoming. This is what you like. Like even something so simple. I'll give you a prime example. And it's a perfect example, I guess. But anyway, like for all these years, and I think I talked about this on the live, maybe I talked about it in the inner circle. I don't know. I talked about this somewhere. But I was someone who wore silver all the time. My granny wears silver. And I just love silver, right? And then one day, I think it was around my birthday this year. And I've worn silver for years. Like that was my jewelry, that whatever. On my birthday this year, I was like, I want to try gold. Right? I want to try gold. Bought some gold earrings from this young lady online and loved it. Like my soul was like, oh yes, I am in love with this gold. And so now all things, I want gold. I like even these are so cute. My husband just gave me these last night. I love gold earrings. Now that is something so simple, but the reason that I'm sharing that with you is that I'm still learning more about myself and getting more clear about who I am, who I'm becoming, and what I desire, right? But I didn't have this like years ago. My mind was so stuck, and I don't think at the time that I had the right resources. I didn't have the right support. There's some other factors that play into that, why I felt stuck in my life. And now as I'm growing and evolving and most importantly, becoming more of myself, I'm getting to know myself and I'm getting more clear about who I am, what I desire, and what I want. And I do want to point out that it makes sense, right? Before I point out, let me say this first. Tell me in the comments if you feel stuck right now. Yes or no? Do you feel stuck? Just answer that question for me. Do you feel stuck in your life right now? Because, based on my survey and I got all this data. But let me know that. And I want to say this. It makes sense if you do feel stuck in your life. And here are some reasons why. If you didn't have examples growing up on what a free woman looked like, more than likely you feel stuck, right? And so I know for me in my personal life, I didn't have an example like myself, right? Like everyone was in this stuck mindset. And this is not to judge anybody that was in my life. I just want to put that out there. But there was a stuck mindset. There is a limiting mindset that they have, right? And so you become like the people you spend the most time with, right? So naturally, if you don't have examples of a free person who is living their best life and pursuing their dreams and reaching and accomplishing their goals, if you don't have any examples of that, more than likely you will feel stuck in your life because you don't have examples of someone who is living the life that you admire, right? I know for me growing up, and I talked about this on a podcast this week, that personal growth wasn't something that I grew up knowing about, or personal development, self-development, however you want to phrase it. I didn't grow up learning about that. And so it wouldn't be to my 30s where I started reading self-help and personal development books, right? I didn't go to conferences. I didn't go work with coaches or anything like that. Shoot, I didn't go to a therapist, and Lord knows I needed it in my 20s and in my teens and all of that. But if you didn't grow up learning about personal growth and, emotional and mental health, if that wasn't a thing, then it makes sense that you feel stuck in your life because you didn't have the exposure, you didn't have the information, you didn't have the knowledge. And now, because we have social media, we have so many resources literally at our fingertips, it's like, it's almost like this light is being shined on you, if you will. Like, oh, wait, I watch Siobhan and I come to her IG live every week. I'm a part of her Be Free Inner Circle. I read her newsletters. I'm listening to the podcast. I can watch and see that she's a perfect example of a woman who is free. I want that, right? Because now if you didn't have, let's just say me or anyone in your life, right? But for the sake of this conversation, we're talking about myself. Like, if you didn't have that, then you're probably like, oh, that's why I feel stuck. But now you see someone each week, you're like, man, she's roller skating and doing all the things. That is an example of a woman that's free. I want more of that. And so because you're seeing my light, you now are able to see, oh, how stuck you really feel. And this is for me or for anyone else that you admire who is a free person or what have you, right? And so now there's a light being shined on that, like, oh, wait, I don't like my life. And that is a hard truth to acknowledge, right? If you do not like the life that you are living. And you have to be honest with yourself. If you can look at where you're at physically, right? And look at your spiritual life, emotionally, mentally, socially, your relationships, right? If every area of your life, it feels stagnant and you feel stuck, I'm not saying you go out and you work on all the things. No, you're going to take it one step at a time. And this is what I teach the members in the Be Free Inner Circle. Every day you take a step forward. Every day you get a fresh start. Every single day you move forward on something, right? And so another reason why you may feel stuck in your life is that, again, based on how you grew up, and if you didn't have examples of what freedom looked like, then you are just following the pattern that you know. And this is not to judge yourself. This is not to be unkind, right? Because I definitely want every single person to give yourself grace, right? And be kind to yourself. But I just want you to be aware that, number one, if you feel stuck, there's nothing wrong with that feeling right now. You didn't know what you know now way back when. This is new information to you. Or maybe the information you're hearing now, you can hear it with clearer ears this time or see it differently because of where you're at, right? And another thing that I want to point out is that the reason why women feel stuck, kind of going back to what I said before, is because you don't know what you want. And so maybe society told you to follow this path, or your family told you to follow one path. And now you've done all this stuff and you're looking at your life and you're like, I don't want this. I don't want to work in this career anymore. I don't want to be a teacher just because that's what my mother was, right? I don't want to have children, even though that's how women sometimes are defined. Maybe you don't want to get married, right? Whatever the thing is, right? But if you've been following this path that society and your family has said that you need to follow, and then it doesn't feel good in your soul and in your spirit, so you feel stuck because you're not doing what you want to do. So the first thing I'm going to say is think through, what is it that you want? What is it that you want for your life? How do you want your spiritual life to look? How do you want your relationships and your friendships to look, right? How do you want your body to look, right? Like, think about all these different areas of your life and say, okay, you know what? I want this. This is what I want spiritually. This is what I want physically. And then take it one step at a time to move forward. I created this amazing free resource, and it's my process on how I've been able to get unstuck and live this free life that I get to live. And it's my 6-step roadmap to being free. And if you haven't downloaded it, I highly recommend it. And those 6 steps are quite simple, but you have to apply them. And it's, number one, you have to have awareness that you are stuck. Then you have to get clear. And I give you directions on each one of these. You have to get clear. You have to get the resources that you need to move forward. You have to be willing to take action, right? You have to be able to shift your mindset, and you got to repeat this over and over and over again. So if you haven't downloaded that, you can click the link in my bio after this live and download it and apply it right away. If you ever have any questions, definitely let me know. And so now I want to kind of describe, so what does it look like to feel stuck in your life? Oh, this water is so good. So good and so cold. What does it look like and what it may feel like? This is how I would describe it. It feels like you're in a cage. And just think, if you can envision like a cage, right? And you can see like the bars and all of that. And it feels like you're in a cage and you want to be free, right? There's a desire to step outside. But if you step outside of it, because you don't know what you want, you're uncertain and you're unsure. So you will choose to stay stuck in the cage because that's familiar and that is comfortable. But what happens when you start to get awareness about certain things, it feels like the cage is closing in on you. Like you can't breathe, like you're suffocating. But you're looking out because you can see through this cage, you can see through the bars that there's a beautiful life on the other side of it. But you're too afraid to even open the door and dare put your foot outside and say, I wonder what it's going to be like if I finally own my voice. I wonder what it's going to feel like if I finally start setting healthy boundaries. I wonder what it's going to feel like if I walk away from this friendship that I thought that I needed and I wanted, but I'm going to try something different. I wonder what it would feel like to finally pursue this career that I'm passionate about versus doing what I thought I had to do. I wonder. And so you will continue to stay in that wonder space and too afraid to walk out the door or walk, and so you stay stuck. And the thing with that is that you can feel it. It's like this nag. It's like this is what I liken it to. Like, it's like this constant nag that you can't shake. So you get up every day and you're like, all right, today is going to be my best day. It's going to be a great day today. And then you remember, I'm in a cage and I'm stuck. And you're too afraid to even take one little step forward. Even if you're in the cage, right? Walking towards the door, you're too afraid to do that because of the uncertainty. And you want to know how everything is going to pan out. But guess what? On this journey, you're not going to know how, right? You're not going to know, if I do this, then this is what I can predict. No. You don't know, but you have to trust yourself enough to say, you know what? I refuse to be stuck any longer. I don't like the way the stuck feels. That was me. I did not like the way feeling stuck felt with this constant nag. And at that time I was living in a lot of fear because I had some stuff to heal. And I'm like, now that I have so much clarity about who I am, who I'm becoming, what I desire, I will never, and when I say never, I mean it, I will never settle for being stuck ever again because I am tasting freedom. And because I'm tasting it and it's so sweet, I'm like, I want more of this. How can I get more freedom? And that's the space I'm in now. And when I tell you, and I said this many times, I am living my best life. It feels good. Like every single day I wake up and I'm like, yes, this is a beautiful life. Do I have challenges? Absolutely. Do things hurt my feelings? Yes. Am I experiencing some personal stuff even now? Yes. But guess what? I'm happy. I am free. And I know and I made a decision that I will never be stuck again, that I'm always going to keep growing. I'm always going to keep evolving. So that's what I liken it to. And so I'm going to give you 3, and I talked about this on a podcast this week, but I'm going to give you 3 reasons that you may feel stuck in your life. And then I'm going to give you some practical things that you can do, right? Let me know if y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. I'm like, let me know if you are picking up all the things that I'm picking, all the things that I am sharing with you. Let me know if it's resonating. And then, again, don't forget, if you have questions, you can always, you can put your questions in the comment section, or you can put them in the little question box and I'll make sure that I get to you. And I encourage you to ask questions because this is your time. I get on live every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I get on here to teach you what it looks like to be free, right? And so if you have questions, ask. If you have thoughts, if you have comments, if you're like, man, what do you think about this, Siobhan? Ask me. You have beef during this time, right? The Be Free Inner Circle members, they get to have me, so much access, and I'm at 100. Wait, let me point out, I just remembered this. Let me say this before I get into these 3 reasons. I'm having a live event, y'all. Super duper excited. So y'all need to mark your calendars. Tickets will go on sale at the end of this month. But I'm having a Be Free meetup, Sip and Grow, in Cleveland, Ohio. So if you love the energy that you get from here, and you listen to the podcast, you read the newsletter, I will be on 1,000. Like, my energy, listen. And our topic is going to be around friendship. So if you want to know more about my in-person event that's happening on September 18th, make sure you send me your email in the DMs, and I'll make sure that you get that information. But I'm so excited. That's my happy dance. All right, so let's get into it. 3 reasons that you may feel stuck in your life right now and what you can do about it. The first thing is, and I see this a lot, and I can tell by the words that come out of your mouth. And I think I told y'all this. Was I on? No, I wasn't on last week. The week before. I can see a stuck woman a mile away. And you can be the most beautiful woman, dressed in the cutest clothes, all the things. But just let me talk to you for a few minutes, and I can hear and see when a woman is stuck, right? And so the number 1 reason that women do feel stuck in their lives is that you feel like nothing is going to change no matter what you do. And so there's a part of you that has given up, and you settled for mediocrity. There's a part of you that feels like there's nothing that I can do to change my situation. And so you have this limited belief that this is the best that it can get, right? I know that to be true because that's what I thought. Years ago, I was like, I guess this is it. I guess I'm just going to be one of those people who don't know their purpose. I guess this is what my life will be. I will be married, I'll have the kids, and I'll go to work every day. I guess this is it. But there was something deeper inside of me that was like, no, this is not it, right? No, there is more for your life. And so that helped me kind of figure out, okay, well, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Now I know very clear I'm here to be a light and empower others to be free, right? I didn't know that back then, but I know it like I know my name, like I know my social security number. I know my purpose is to be a light and empower others to be free. I did not let my situation define my life for me. I did not let my past define my life. Based on how I grew up, technically, I should be stuck. Technically, I shouldn't be talking to you right now. Technically, my life should look completely different. But there was something deep inside of me that refused to settle, right? So again, the number 1 reason that, not number 1, but a reason that you may feel stuck right now in your life is because you feel like nothing is going to change. And you are settling for how your life is. Let me tell you something that's very, 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 very important. It's probably the best thing I'm going to say all day to you. Your thoughts become your reality. What you think on a day-to-day basis become your reality. So if you think your life won't get better, guess what? It will not. If you think that you just live this average, mediocre life and this is just the best that it gets, if you think that you're just here to pay bills and go to work every day and chill on the weekends, watch TV and repeat that over and over again, guess what? That's how your life will look. Your thoughts become your reality. Whatever you're thinking day in and day out, that is what's happening around you. You have to, and this is so important, you have to shift your mindset. You have to change the way that you think. And it's one step at a time. And I remember when I was still working in corporate, one of the things I was like, man, I was fed up. I was tired. I didn't like my job, whatever. I went every day, but I didn't like it. And so one of the things that I started doing, instead of sitting around with people at lunch, gossiping and talking about surface level stuff that I cared nothing about, I went to my car and sat in my car on my lunch break and I would listen to podcasts. I would pray and I would journal. Because I'm like, listen, I got to shift this. If I based my actions on where I was, right? And if I continue to have these surface level conversations and people who were okay with where they're at, I'm going to be like them. So I had to remove myself from that, right? And I'm like, okay, just go in the car, whether I needed to take a nap, whether I was going to journal, listen to podcasts, listen to music, but I just had to get by myself. There were days, because where I worked, there was like a pond, and I would walk around that pond on days. Like, I just needed to be with me. And now I'm so grateful that I took that, and that was the action step. Even though I didn't like my situation at the time, I didn't like my job, I should say, what was I willing to do? I was willing to get by myself. And I didn't know that what I was doing then was preparing me for now. I didn't know that. All I knew is that, okay, I don't like this. I don't want to do this. I want to figure out my stuff. And so that's what I did. You have to create new thoughts and beliefs for yourself. So if whatever belief or limiting belief, which AKA a lie that you're holding on to, you got to switch that. I don't know. I always do this. I don't know what that means. But you got to switch it to something positive, right? You got to switch it. Like, anytime a negative belief pops up in your mind, you got to be ready to switch it right away. Because the moment that you hold on to it, right, it will just lead to one. You'll be down a rabbit hole is basically what I want to say. Because it'll be one after one after one. And then it's hard to get out of it. The more positive you can think, you will create a better reality for yourself. So I tell y'all all the time, affirmations, I turn them off when I'm doing the lives or whatever, but affirmations go off on my phone every hour. Some type of positive statement. I'm reciting it throughout the day. Because even where I'm at now, I still have to continue to feed my mind. And it's something that I'm sure I will forever be doing. Feeding my mind positive thoughts. Because I know the reality that I want. And if I allow negative thoughts to linger, that is a life that I would be living in. So I have to switch that, right? Another thing is that you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that change is possible. You have to believe, like, yes, my life can get better. This is not as good as it gets. And so many people that are connected to me in some capacity, they start saying, oh, it's too late for me. I made too many mistakes in my past, right? I failed too many times. It's too late. I'm getting too old. I'm not smart enough. Like, every single limiting thing you can think of, they've allowed that to define them. Oh, I'm a procrastinator. I remember there was someone who said to me once that she is a master procrastinator. And I'm like, whoa. So that's how you're going to define yourself. If you define yourself as a master procrastinator, that's a thought that you're believing. And with that thought, you will continue to believe that. So every single time you try to do something because you've told yourself you're a master procrastinator, which I ain't never heard nothing like that. But because you told yourself that, every single time you get ready to do something, you've already told yourself, you already created a belief for yourself. So you're never going to be as successful as you want in your life because you've already told yourself, I'm a master procrastinator. Think about the things that you're telling yourself over and over again. That is your reality. Another thing that I want to say is that in order to shift this, creating new beliefs for yourself, believing and trusting in yourself, connect with a woman who isn't stuck. Find at least one woman that isn't stuck and connect with her like whatever, right? Because that way you'll have an example of what a free woman is, right? And then you can get the encouragement that you need. You can get the support. You can ask questions. So if you come and watch me every week and you're like, you know what? I can see the freedom all over her. I can see the light all over her. I want whatever it is that's on her. I want that. You better figure out how to connect with me. You better figure out how to get as close to me as possible. And I will say the way that you do that is through the Be Free Inner Circle. Because I am being their biggest cheerleader in there. Like, I want to see every single woman win. Every single week I go live just like this via Zoom inside the community, pouring into the women. And I told them this week or last week, I said, I am your example of a free woman. You are connected to me. So then that means I'm going to hold up a mirror for you and I'm going to show you who you are and I'm going to cheer you on and teach you how to be free. The more you show up in this community inside the Be Free Inner Circle, the more I get to support you. And we're going to look at your life a year from now and see, based on how you're showing up, based on how you're connected with me, you're going to see the fruit of the seeds that you're planting today. You're going to see a harvest, but you have to be connected with the woman that ain't stuck. I just felt that. If every single woman, every single friend, and I'm specifically talking about women because that's my target audience, my ideal, right? If every friend that you have, every family member that you have is stuck in their life and you're like, I don't want none of that, but yet you spend time with them on a day-to-day basis, I will share this quote through and through and through that I read in the book, We Should All Be Millionaires. 95% of your success and your failure is predicted based on the people that you spend time with, right? So if you have nothing but stuck friends around you, stuck family members, everybody is stuck, guess what? It makes sense that you feel stuck in your life. And if you don't have one person that you can look at and you're like, man, or not even look at, if you don't have one person that you can connect with and say, man, this is a free woman. I can tell she's living her best life. I can tell she's living the life that she desires. She is a perfect example of what freedom looks like. You better find you someone. You better find someone quick, because otherwise you will look at your life day in and day out and you will continue to be stuck, and you'll keep wishing and you'll keep wondering and you'll stay in this mental cage and you'll never be free. And I tell you, I do not want to be someone on my deathbed saying, I wish I would have done X, Y, and Z. No. Every single day I show up for myself. Every single day I am like, all right, Siobhan, what we doing today? And this is not just in my company. This is in my personal life. So when I talk about the 3 to be free, right? And there's a worksheet that you can download. It's in the show notes of my podcast. But when I talk about the 3 to be free, every single day I go for a walk. Every single day I affirm myself, and every single day I take action in my personal life and in my business, period. If you don't have, and maybe that is a thing you need to write down in your notebook today, is I am going to find one woman that I can connect with that she is an example of a life that I admire and I want to be like. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but like you can see something in her that you desire, you better find her quick. Whether it's me or someone else, it doesn't matter. This is not just all for gain for me. You find someone. Maybe it's someone in your community. Maybe it's someone you admire on social media. Maybe it's a friend that maybe, whatever. Find someone today. Number 2. That was longer than I wanted to, that was longer than what I wanted to, I thought I was going to take on that one, but we'll get into it. This replay, y'all better watch. This is what I want y'all to do too. I want every single person watching me, whether you're watching the replay or you're watching live, to share this video, because this is good. What I'm sharing today, I'm dropping all the gems, and I want you to share this video in your IG stories. Share it, send the link to your friends and have them watch it and talk about it when you're done. Everybody needs to see this video, because I'm dropping the gems and I can feel it in my spirit. All right. Number 2. A reason that you feel stuck in your life, and it kind of ties to what I was just saying, is that you're in friendships that leave you depleted. You are in friendships that drain you. You are in friendships that when this friend call you and you look at your phone, you're like, I don't want to talk to her today. I don't feel like talking to her. You are in friendships and in relationships that are not adding value to your life. And what that may look like is that the conversations are one-sided. You ever have that friend that they call you and they only want to tell you about what's going on in their life, or they want to complain or give you all the drama, and there's never an opportunity for you to share, because then she has to get off the phone and move on to the next thing. And you're always there for her, but when it's time to share your piece, when it's time to share what you got going on, she doesn't have time. The conversation and the relationship is one-sided. So you're giving more than what you're receiving, right? Or when you talk to specific or certain friends, if you will, they judge you. Or they criticize you. And so you're like, I ain't going to share this with her, because I know if I share this, I know what she's going to say. I know she's going to judge me. I know she's going to criticize me for my choices. She's not going to give you room to grow. She's not going to give you room to be human, right? And so you find yourself pulling away because the relationship is not filling your cup. It's actually depleting and draining you. And so again, when she calls or when she comes over, you don't really want to talk to her all like that, because you know what you're going to get. That is not healthy, right? And one of the things too is that the friendship has left you unfulfilled. So when y'all hear me get on here every week or talk about this on the podcast, every time I talk about my friends, I'm like, I have some amazing friends. My friends are so great for so many reasons. And one thing in particular is that they don't judge me. They don't judge me. They make space for me. They love my most authentic self. And guess what? Every single friendship that I have, they get the most authentic version of me. I used to put on masks. I used to pretend to be someone that I wasn't just to make other people comfortable. And then I would feel horrible inside. Now, you get what you get. Who I am, this is what I want to say. They get the most authentic version of myself, right? So I don't have to pretend anymore. And they love me just simply for being me, right? That means that in all of my friendships, I feel fulfilled, right? I feel safe. Not one person will judge me for anything that I say or do. And I get to be myself. So we as humans desire to belong. We as humans desire to be connected, right? Because of that, I'm going to go back to finding friends, being in relationships with people that fill your cup. Being in relationships where you can work on getting unstuck so that you can be free, right? Another important thing is that you first have to be a friend to yourself first. And I feel like so many women want to attract these amazing friends in their lives, but you're not a good friend to yourself. And how I know you're not a good friend to yourself is because you speak negative to yourself. You don't treat yourself in a beautiful way, but then you're expecting somebody else to come into your life and do that for you. That's not reality, right? That's not reality at all. You first have to learn how to be an amazing friend to yourself. And when you do that, you will attract the perfect people for you. I was not always a great friend to myself. I did not always love myself. There were times in my life where I put other people before myself. I trusted them more than I trusted myself. There were people in my life where I needed their validation. And if I didn't get it, then I wouldn't move. So many things. And when I go back and I look at my life and all these things, I'm like, you didn't love yourself, Siobhan. You believed that other people knew more about you than you knew for yourself. And I made a decision in 2019. I said, I will never, and when I say never like that, I mean that. I will never, ever give someone more of myself than I give to me. I will never trust someone else more than I trust myself. And the reason that I can say that with such boldness and confidence is because I've learned how to love on Siobhan. I've learned how to be an amazing friend to myself, right? So even, I tell the members in the Be Free Inner Circle all the time. So I have 2 rest days now. I rest on Thursdays and Sundays where I do not do any work at all. Best decision I could have made for my whole entire life, because now it's another way that I'm loving on myself. So, and I do whatever the heck I want to do, right? So what's been happening is I've been brunching with my great friends on Thursdays or whatever, but I do what I want and I move how I want, and I'm doing things that I truly enjoy. And so I say this to say, before you try, number one, acknowledge, and I'm going to do a whole podcast on evaluating your friendship. So that's coming up. But right now, for this very moment, acknowledge that you have friends in your life acknowledge that you are in relationships and friendships that are unfulfilling. Just acknowledge that if it's true for you. The second thing is learn how to be an amazing friend to you. And I have a resource called the How-To Guide to Finding Your Forever Friends. And it's something that I talk about in the free resource is, okay, this is how you be a better friend to yourself. So if you need that resource, it's absolutely free. Again, you can click the link in my show notes to download it. The third thing that I want to talk about today is that a reason that you may feel stuck in your life is because you feel stuck at your job. I don't know how many people I've heard share how they hate their jobs. They hate them, they hate them, they hate them. And I'm like, okay, you hate your job. What you gonna do about it? Nobody is forcing you to stay there. And even if you say, oh, because people say, oh, the economy is this. Have you even tried? Have you tried to apply for another position? And then let me kind of rewind. What do you really want to do? So if you don't know what you want, of course you're going to hate your job. Of course it's going to be unfulfilling because you haven't done the inner work to say, oh, I'm an accountant, but I really want to be a teacher. And if you can't honestly say what you really want, of course going to your job every day is going to be miserable and you're going to dread it. That was me. I was going to work every day because I didn't know what I want. But it was safe, right? It paid the bills. It provided for my family. I was able to do some things here and there, whatever. I didn't know what I wanted at that time. And it took me getting laid off from my job, a permanent layoff with a site closed. And I was like, oh, okay, this is something. Now, initially when I got the news, I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I remember the day like it was yesterday. And God said this in my right ear. And I tell this story over and over and over again. It is my truth. It is my life. God said to me, this is your opportunity to take a chance on yourself. And I listened. At the time that I heard that, I did not know what I wanted for my life, but I trusted what I heard. And the reason that I was able to trust it, because I had already been I had been in therapy and doing some inner work, and I had already had my master's degree. And I'm like, I know I don't want to work for no other company. And if I wanted to go back to work, I easily could have, right? I could have easily gone back, whatever, but that wasn't it. And I listened to what I heard. And I'm so grateful, and you should be grateful too, that I listened, because that's how Be Free Project was born. Because I listened to what I heard. And then I got crystal clear about what I wanted. And even now I'm realizing, I'm like, oh, Siobhan, I don't want to label myself as a coach or a mentor or any of that. I'm like, I'm a cheerleader. I cheer women on and I support them. And I am amazing. I am amazing at holding you accountable. And right now, I'm like, oh, you are operating in your zone of genius because this is what you're great at. So you know the reason I'm going to be successful, or the reason I'm already successful, is because I'm operating in my zone of genius and I'm doing exactly what I've been gifted to do, is to cheer women on, right? To hold you accountable, to be a light in your life, to inspire and encourage you. Like, I'm gifted. Listen, if you are... just know those are my gifts, right? And the positivity, right? The positivity, like I am a ball of positivity. I'm gifted. And I told y'all a couple of weeks ago, I took the Strength Finders assessment. My number one strength was positivity. I ain't surprised. That's who I am, right? I am going to cheer you on. And this is the thing. That was why one of the options on the survey was, do you need a cheerleader to believe in you? So many of you ladies don't have anyone believing in you. You don't have one person that you can share your dreams with, right? Not one person. You don't have anyone that's cheering for you, that's supporting you, that's giving you resources, that's helping you. You don't have that. And because you don't have that, you stay stuck. So if you're someone who hates your job and you feel stuck at your job, I challenge you to figure out what it is that you really want for your life. Figure that out. And don't be afraid to make a move. So I'll give you a prime example. There's a member in the Be Free Inner Circle, a beautiful member in the Be Free Inner Circle. And she was working for the government. And she hated her job. She was miserable. She found a job that she loves, that's in alignment with what she desires to do. She took a pay cut, a significant pay cut, from the first job that she hated to the job that she's doing now. But every time she talks about her job inside the Be Free Inner Circle, she loves what she's doing. And she says, I don't even care that I took a pay cut because it's worth it, because I love going to work every day. And she even created a side hustle that she can do on the side to make more money now, which is amazing because we just got to that, right? She is now has a side hustle to make up for the money or the difference that she took in the pay cut. But she made a decision. She said, you know what? I'm not going to complain about my job anymore. I'm not going to say how much I hate it. I'm going to be willing to take a pay cut to be in a job that I like so that I'm not complaining. And you can see the shift. You can see the light in her eyes when she talks about her job. And I'm like, that is the benefit of being a part of the Be Free Inner Circle, because I've been cheering her on. And I remember, she's in Cleveland too. And I remember when she came to her very first Be Free meetup. And I have watched her blossom from meeting her in person to being a part of the Be Free Inner Circle to doing all this amazing work. It's just beautiful to see. This is why you need a cheerleader in your corner. And every time I hear her talk, I'm like, I'm cheering for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm supporting you. Whatever you need, as long as you're connected to me, I'm going to support you. So take the time to figure out what it is that you want for your life. Stop saying, oh, I hate this job. And then if you're around other people that hate their jobs, guess what? You're going to keep saying the same thing. I remember when I was in corporate, and then I'm open this up for Q&A. So if you have questions, put them in the comment section, put them in the question box. I remember I would go into the job, even though I didn't like it, every day with this positive, bubbly energy, supporting, cheering people on, all that. Like, y'all, let's get it. We're going to have a great day. And the people that have been there for long, years and years and years, they would complain about how much they hated their job, how miserable they was. But yet they came to work every day. And I'm like, that energy, I can't be around that. I cannot be around someone being pessimistic and complaining every single day. I need to be around positive energy. And sometimes when your light is so bright, but then you have so much negativity around you, that negativity will go right over you. So you have to separate yourself from it. You have to change the atmosphere and shift the environment. Otherwise, you will become like the people you spend the most time with, coworkers, family members, friends, period. So if you want your life to change and you want to get unstuck, you got to shift some stuff. Stop being scared. And if you feel like you're in this cage, just take one step forward every single day, and be okay with not knowing. I don't know what is coming for me. I have no idea. But I trust myself enough to know that I'm going to take a step forward. Every single day, I'm going to move forward because I refuse. I absolutely refuse to be stuck in my life. And so that's why I get on here every single week when I'm not traveling or something's going on at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's why I get on here every Friday, to be a mirror for you, to show you what a free woman looks like, which is myself. And then to hold up a mirror to say, oh, these are some things that I've learned. This is what I want to teach you. You get to chew up the meat and spit out the bones and see what works for you. If it works, great. If not, that's fine. But do something. Do something. So many women are just letting their life pass them by. They're wasting time. They're wasting energy because you're being stuck. And guess what? Being stuck is costing you. It's costing you the life that you desire to live. It's costing you your freedom. So whether you do something or not, you're paying for it. And I would rather pay towards a life that I want to live versus paying towards a life that I'm going to be stuck in. And the beautiful thing for me is I'm around so many women right now who are free. And so even on days when I don't feel my best, I'm connected to other people. And I'm like, oh, all I got to do is have one conversation with you. And I'm like, all right, let's get it. That's what you want. Don't surround yourself with no stuck women. You will be stuck. And it would make me sad if this video just gave you an emotional high and you log off once I go in this live and you just keep scrolling to the next thing, to the next video to watch, the next positive quote to read, and you do nothing. Shame on you if you come on here every single week and watch me. Shame on you if you're a member of the Be Free Inner Circle and you're doing nothing. Shame on you if you listen to my podcast and you read my newsletter. Shame on you if you attend my events and you do nothing, but yet you're hearing. Am I telling you to have your whole life figured out in front of you? No, I'm not saying that. Am I saying, oh, you got to do all these things at once? Nope, I'm not saying that either. I'm saying your first step may be that you journal tonight about what you want for your life. Your first step may be setting a healthy boundary. Your first step may be telling somebody no who you always say yes to. Your first step may be finding a book that you need to read right now to support you. So if you are dealing with fear, you go on Amazon or you go to the library and you find books to support you around being less fearful. If you are looking to switch your career and you're like, I don't know what I want, then you find a book or a resource to support you. Whatever area of your life that you feel stuck in, you find a resource to support you in that. Whether it's a podcast that you listen to, a book that you read. And the books are free. Go to the library. Don't tell me you don't have money. And I'm going to move on because that will be a whole thing. Because people love to say, oh, Siobhan, I can't afford to join the Be Free Inner Circle. You can't afford not to. You can't afford not to. Right? I can't afford to do this. You can go, you know how to spend money on the things that you want. I bet if someone said, oh, let's go out to eat tonight, you can find money to do that. If someone said, let's go on this trip, you can find money to do that. But when it comes to personal growth and changing your life, oh, I don't have money. I can't invest in what you're telling me to do because I don't have money. But you can get new shoes and you can get makeup and you can do all these external things. But when it comes to changing your life, you're not willing to invest in yourself. I invest a lot, like whether coaching, all the things. Because again, I refuse to be stuck. I will go on a whole tangent talking about how people spend money on all this other stuff. But when it comes to spending money on themselves and their growth, and this is the thing, I'm going to say this last thing about it and then I'm going to open it up. I promise I'm going to open it up for questions. Because going back to if you were like me and you didn't grow up with learning about personal growth, emotional health, mental hygiene, if you didn't grow up with all of that, I understand why you are afraid to invest in yourself, because you're like, I don't know if that's going to work for me. Going back to my very first reason why you feel stuck. I understand it because you didn't grow up with that. But our other counterparts did, right? They grew up going to therapy and, I remember, I'm going to tangent. I'm not going there. I just know they grew up with these resources that we did not. So you have to take a chance on yourself and be willing. And this is what I say to every new member that joins the Be Free Inner Circle. Give it 90 days. Give it 90 days. Just like you would give a new job that you go to, that you get hired for, to learn the company culture, to learn your role. Give the Be Free Inner Circle 90 days and let me pour into you. And if at 90 days you're like, that don't work for me, fair enough. But at least try something. Go to BeFreeInnerCircle.com. BeFreeInnerCircle.com. I'm done with that. Let's answer any questions that y'all have because I'm on it today. I'm like, I didn't know I was going here, but I'm feeling it. All right, we have one question. If you have a question, comment, thought, whatever, put it in the comment section. Let me know. Let's see. Let me take some water before I answer. Jessica Mulaney. First of all, thank you for tuning in, Jessica. I appreciate you. Any problem or barrier can make me feel stuck. Okay. Any problem or barrier can make me feel stuck. How can I better enjoy the journey? Surround yourself with other women who are doing the work. And I say this, Jessica, because it is hard. It is hard to do the work. It is not easy, right? But what makes it even harder when you're doing the journey alone and you don't have other women that you can connect to. So when I have my moments where I'm like, when I have those moments, I'm like, oh, I need to reach out to my friend, right? And so I can kind of process my thoughts with her or them, lots of friends, right? So because they're all doing this personal growth work, they're all emotionally and mentally healthy, it helps me better enjoy the journey because I have women on the journey with me and I'm not doing it all alone. Because I'm surrounded by positive, like-minded women who are doing the work, it helps me enjoy the journey. Another thing that I'm doing, Jessica, and I just started doing this a few weeks ago, I believe, is that I keep track of all of my wins, big or small. So I have an iPhone and I use the reminder app, and every day I write down a win, and it can be anything. So the other day I had a successful appointment at the dentist's office. I have trauma around going to the dentist. I found me a black dentist. He's amazing. Staff is amazing. That was a win because I didn't have an experience like I had in the past. So I said that to say every single day I write down a win, big or small. So that when moments when I feel like, oh, this is sucking, I don't like all this stuff or whatever, I can go back to this list and remind me of beautiful wins that I've had, right? How can I better enjoy the journey? Focus on what I can control. And again, be connected with other women who are doing the work. So when I don't feel like doing the work, I have friends that I can lean on that's always going to encourage me, and they're always going to remind me who I am. So I have friends that send me texts every morning, and they tell me who I am. And what do I mean? They'll say, "Great morning, Siobhan. You are an amazing and supportive friend." They'll speak millionaire over my life, because that's the goal. I am a millionaire. I'm not saying I'm going to be. I'm saying I am, because you got to speak what you want into existence, right? So everything that I'm working towards in my life, I have friends that speak life over that. So that is what I was. How do you better enjoy the journey? You surround yourself with positive, like-minded women who are also on the journey. So then that way y'all can help each other. And Jessica, if you're not a part of a community, I invite you to join the Be Free Inner Circle. I would love to be your cheerleader. I will love to support you. I will love to see you win. And on the days when you feel like giving up, when you're facing a problem, when you have a barrier, I would love to be in your corner so that you don't stay stuck. I would love to be that person for you. And you can go to BeFreeInnerCircle.com. And if you have a question, Jessica, about it, let me know. Angel says, and Angel is a member of the Be Free Inner Circle. Hey, Angel. How can I handle people who think just because I'm working on myself, I'm depressed? It's discouraging. You remove yourself from those people. You don't share what you're working on with people who think you are depressed because you're doing the work. Those aren't your people. You share it in the Be Free Inner Circle, right? Everybody is not going to understand, right? If they are stuck in their own lives, they ain't going to understand what you're doing. They're going to think something is wrong because you're doing something outside of the norm that you normally been doing. They want you to stay comfortable. They want you to stay like them. They want to put something else on your life that's not true. So when you're doing the work, people are going to get uncomfortable with that. They're not going to like that. They're like, whoa, I'm used to Angel when she's like this. I'm comfortable with Angel when she's like this. Now she's changing and doing all this other stuff. I don't like that version of her. I want to keep her there, right? So then they're going to say, oh, you're depressed. How are you depressed doing personal growth work? That don't even make no sense. How are you depressed when you're trying to be better? Is it hard? Yes. But you ain't about to label me because of it. So you don't share parts of yourself with certain people if they're going to judge you and criticize you. Those aren't your people. And that can even be family. I have family members that I cannot talk to. I can see you. I can be cordial with you. But I am not going to share certain parts of my life with you. You will never know, because if I share something with you, you're going to judge it. You're going to tell me something that I don't need to hear, because your one word, your one saying, your one sentence can push me back 5 steps. And I'm trying hard every day to move forward. That's why everybody can't handle your growth. And I said this before, there are people that will be in your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. Everybody can't handle it. And what I know to be true, and this is happening in friendship groups, this is happening with family. My light is so bright that it makes other people uncomfortable. And because my light is so bright, they want to dim it as much as they can, because I'm showing you who you're not. I'm showing you, because I'm doing my work and I'm being free. Now you have to look at yourself. And you're like, oh, I don't like myself. Her light is too bright. Let me say something negative to her. Not that that's their intentions, not that they want to do that, but on a subconscious level, that is what they're doing. Those aren't your people. Find people that are positive, that's going to uplift you, that's going to say, you know what, Angel, you doing beautiful work. I see you working on yourself. I love that about you. You're an inspiration. You're encouraging me. Keep going. I got you. Even if I'm not where you're at, even if I'm not ready to do the work, I see you doing the work and I support you from afar. That's who you want around you. If you're going to label me because I'm doing something positive, shame on you. I hope that is helpful. Woo! I'm fired up, y'all. Ooh, I'm fired up today. I'm fired up, y'all. Any other questions? Let me scroll up. I hope that was helpful. Jessica says, thank you very much for answering me. Perfect answer. Hey, absolutely. My pleasure. Okay. Ebony says, like many, COVID changed the trajectory of my life. Community gardening and community engagement have become a passion and purpose. How can I make that something that pays me? How can I make that something that pays me? Well, let's think through what's the why that you're doing it, right? And sometimes you have to do some things for free before you get paid. And I would need to know a little bit more about that. Like, I'm not a business coach by any stretch of the imagination. But what I do know is that it just so happened for me that I was able to build a business off of something that I am passionate about doing, right? And I've read books, I've worked with coaches, I went to conferences, I've taken classes. So if you're trying to become an entrepreneur based on community gardening and community engagement, then you're going to have to maybe hiring a business coach, right? And if you're, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, are you in Cleveland, Ebony? I believe you're in Cleveland. If I'm right, you can go to the Women's Business Center. They have resources for women starting their own businesses that you can link up with. I would do as much research as I can, and get really clear about like what you want to do with that, how you want to do it, your why behind it. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that when starting a business. But I believe, let me see. Let me know if you're in Cleveland. And if not, like, if you have like some type of resource area, and this is for anyone who's looking. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Check out the Women's Business Center. They have tons of resources, to start a company. And then as far as like community, I am gifted at building community. That is actually a gift that I have. Right. So again, being a member of the Be Free Inner Circle, I offer support within the community, and can answer questions and all that jazz, and be hands-on, cheering you on. So that is a great space to be in for that. And that's the BeFreeInnerCircle.com, BeFreeInnerCircle.com. Any other questions? I don't think so. Angel says, I am going to really challenge myself to find out what I want. And Angel, I want you to ask as many questions as you can within the Be Free Inner Circle. You are a member. Ask the questions, come to the live events, allow me to support you. Listen. And also come to the Be Free meetup on September 18th in Cleveland. I know you're in Cleveland. And let me just say, you don't have to be from Cleveland to attend my events. I have members from the Be Free Inner Circle, and women do this all the time. They fly into my events from other places. So that is that. So you definitely want to be in the building. It's going to be a great event. Okay, I think I answered everybody. I don't see any other questions. So thank you, y'all, for showing up. Not only thank you for showing up for yourself, thank you for showing up for me. This was an amazing live. I feel really good about this. So if you are just jumping on, make sure you catch the replay, because let me tell y'all, I was on fire today. And again, make sure you share this live with a friend. Like, girl, watch this and let's talk about it when you're done. You can always find me in the DM. So if you have a question or a thought or whatever, you can DM me. And again, you can find all things about me at BeFreeProject.com. I shared 2 resources with you guys, 2 free resources today. So the How to Find Your Forever Friends is an amazing free guidebook that you can download. And then the 6-step roadmap to being free is another amazing download for you, or resource for you to download. And both of those can be found in the link in my bio. Download them, share the link with friends. Like, girl, download this. I'm going to keep telling you guys to download and share my work, and then talk about it with someone else, because that is what's been very, very helpful for me. Like, I have people that I can talk to and process this stuff, and I'm not doing this journey alone. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for the engagement. Thank you for the questions and all that jazz. I will see y'all next week. Have an amazing weekend.